Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Lord, this is Underdog Views, and I watched The Woman in the Yard with the tagline, "Don't let her in." You know, some movies, they start off really good, or they start off good, but then they decline. And I have to say, to be honest, that this was one of those movies. And that's really too bad, because I really did like it at the beginning. Um, it it was, it says here horror mystery, and I wouldn't say that it was really horror, but it was more suspense horror, a bit more thriller horror. It, there was not really killing in the movie. Yes, there was one uh, stab, but that was just a pillow. Um, so you know, I was kind of disappointed. But let's just start with the movie, shall we? We see a White House, and then a chicken coop, and then a garage, and we hear David and Ramona, talking on the background. Um, Inside the house, we see some letters on the ground. We see the kitchen from different angles, and then we see David and Ramona talking because it's apparently a video that Ramona is watching while she's laying in bed. Um, the door, she plays it again. The door opens behind her, and it's her son Taylor. He says, "Mom, Mom," but no response. So what does he do? He opens the curtains and says, "The power's out." He asks, uh, but she grunts a bit. He asks her if she's gonna call the power company, and she said something back to him, and then he left the room. She rolled over, well, kind of, and climbed out of the other side of the bed, because there are her crutches, because apparently she was in a car accident and there's now a kind of a brace around her whole right leg. Ooh, painful. But we're gonna leave it at that because if you don't know what's gonna happen next, watch the movie yourself. Um, what I can say about this movie is the woman in black has a bit of shadow powers. Um, no, it's not like in Naruto or another movie with shadow powers. So it's more like she's sitting in the yard and sometimes she gets closer, and when the sun shines and her shadow comes through the window, through the walls. Um, she can prefer shadow inside the house. She can move things, touch things, and whatever. Um, there was also a moment when they all went, all three of them, because there's a mother, the son Taylor, Ramona, the mother, the son Taylor, and the daughter Annie. Um, they all three went to the attic, um, because there was the least amount of windows, and there was a part where the yard lady was there, and the mother was kind of trapped in the shadow dimension. But when it became, evening and more dark and or night, Ramona came back. She appears again, but Annie was taken by the yard lady. Also, this movie has only 5 cast members. The yard lady, you have David, the father, who is, well, passed away, Ramona, the mother, Taylor, the son, and Annie, the daughter. So, only 5 cast members, basically. Kind of nice, You don't need a lot of people to make an interesting or a good movie, like with this movie. Just, no, like I said at the beginning, the movie was good at first, but then it kind of declined because it became very confusing, and then the ending was just, the monster was not really yeah, the yard lady was not really defeated, So, and like I said, it was also more suspense horror than a good horror. But this movie is also from 2025, March 27th. So it's a pretty recent movie. It's not even a month old. But it just, it's sort of good, but it declined a bit, and that was just a bit too bad. So I'll give this movie a 3 out of 5. Otherwise I would give this movie a 4 out of 5, but by the confusedness and by the by the ending, it became a 3 out of 5. So a bit sad, but what can you do? Tomorrow we're gonna get, I think, the Mad Doctor of Blood Island. Leave likes, recommend a good movie down below in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel, come join Discord, and see you guys tomorrow for the Mad Doctor of Blood Island. Also tomorrow I'm doing YouTube for 2 years, so I'm gonna make a special video. Maybe I'm gonna do Fiona and Cake then on the Friday instead of the Thursday, because algorithm is sometimes shitty, but maybe I'm gonna drop it either way. Who knows? We'll see you then. But subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.